sit back, relax, and let's start the motherfucking beat.
Get this message out here. I'm doing what I love to help a community out. Like, you know what I mean?
What is the next step? What's the one thing I can do today that's going to get us one?
So, I mean, I don't know what's in the future.
Art is the only way you can reach out to the future. It is the only thing that actually lives through a time capsule.
And I think that if the DIY scene as a whole put more of a value on itself, it could be a lot more sustainable.
Now, if someone doesn't like it, that's their deal.
Have some water here.
Yes.
Did everybody have an okay Saturday night?
My sister got married yesterday.
No shit.
I was the officiant. Shout out to Gina and Justin.
Congratulations, yeah.
Their wedding.
Woo!
Yeah, it was good stuff. Good
Love.
times.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Some may say it's a burning flame.
Did
you use that in your speech?
I did not use that in my speech.
What was your speech?
I told you, I had this shit written out, right? But like, I'm a guy, I'm waiting until the time's there. You got to wait till it's real and you're sitting there. So it was like the night before, I was sitting in my hotel room and was just like, all right, I got some like one-liners, and I just like wrote them down and was drawing arrows and shit like that. And we got there and it was outside and like hot as shit. So she just looked at me, gave me this like, don't drag this out look. And I just like looked at what I had written, been like, I can't even fucking read this anyway, closed it up and was just like, there was a pause for a second, and I think I just went for a minute, and then like rolled into it and just, hey, thanks for coming, everybody, that type of stuff.
Yeah,
it was smooth.
Cool. Weddings are stressful for me. I've been in a couple. Not I haven't been married, but I've had friends that have been married, and I've been a part of the wedding, and it's very like,
yeah.
Whew. You think throwing a show is stressful, man? A wedding's like the ultimate show.
Yeah,
it's the ultimate gig.
It was like, I've barely been to a handful of weddings in any capacity. So like having to be kind of prominent in a wedding for like who's effectively the person that I would like most like to not fuck up their wedding.
Totally.
But thankfully, like outside of basically my dad and my sister, everybody else is real chill throughout the family and like involved. So it was all pretty relaxed. As we got closer to like, my sister's not high strung in the way of like, everything's going to go wrong in the immediate time. It's like, well, we can plan this. We're getting it done. We're doing it right. But as the days rolled by, she was like, I'm getting married and everybody's hanging out. So she chilled out and it was just smooth as shit. Like I fucking forgot to bring clothes. Like it was like an hour before we were supposed to go out, and I was like getting clothes to like fucking iron them and stuff, and I was just like, I don't know where my clothes are, and I was like, Mom, you got any idea where my clothes are? She was like, no, I don't know where they are. And I was like, oh shit. And like there's a Walmart right across the street, so I just went over. I was totally not concerned about it because that Walmart was there. But then I walk in and I'm like walking through the men's clothing section. I don't know the last time I've been in a Walmart. I couldn't find like dress clothes.
Sure.
It was with like the fucking underwear and stuff. So I was just heading back there and I was like, all right. But they only had like one type of pants and one plain white shirt. So like they make it real easy for you. You don't get to spend a lot of time worrying about what you're wearing. You're like, well, this is what I'm getting. Worked out. It was good.
Nick and or Kevin, were your Saturdays anywhere near as exciting or dramatic?
No, not at all. No. I went to work, played some Overwatch, called it a night.
Cool. I ran sound at Hambones for a noise show.
Oh, how was that?
So that's pretty
boring on my end because you plug them in and let them do their thing.
Yeah, I mean, you
no real
have to
mixing to do.
Keep an eye on some of the stuff,
make sure we're not blowing up the speakers, and that's
now,
about it.
how does a noise show at Hambones of all places work out? Does it do they do that regularly there?
You get probably once a month or something.
I'm kind of removed from the noise scene, I would say, but if I had to think of a place where it would be, I wouldn't imagine it would be in Hambones.
Well, it's a different
but I don't know. Maybe I'm just projecting.
I don't know if it was specifically a noise show. It was a lot of synth and I guess shoegaze.
Sure, I just
I'm not
wouldn't
familiar.
picture like
Noise
a keyboard
art.
I wouldn't picture anything like that in Hambones.
There
But
was probably
I've never
20
been
people in the
Hambones.
room to see the show.
So I'm just like an idiot.
You've
I'm
never
just
been in
I've
Hambones?
never been in there. I've never like known anybody that has like played a show there that I've been like, yeah, I'm gonna go check it out. It's so weird.
Huh.
The disconnected segregation of the Pittsburgh music
Right.
scene. It's fucking psychotic.
It's an eclectic
I've never
place
stepped
for
foot in
sure,
there.
though.
Well, it's like I don't know. You were always playing in like metal and hardcore bands and shit like that, and those guys have their own thing, and then Hambones has its own specific thing of just like acoustic nights.
That's what
those
I would
like
picture.
weird like
Most
it's not
days
like
of the week it is.
noise.
But you get some different stuff in
Huh.
there, too.
Interesting.
There are those jazz dudes that one time that were just awesome. You remember those guys?
Yeah, they arranged. They did like 12 arrangements of saxophone.
Practice pieces.
Yeah,
Like
It-
that's the kind of shit that like I think of when I think of Hambones. I
That's
think
about
of
right.
like just like super talented session type dudes that are going in there and jamming, and then like occasionally there's rock shows.
yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. But I wouldn't imagine like an electronic focused show. But hey, you got to do it somewhere.
Yeah,
And if they have a working PA, that's to their benefit because
yeah, it
there's
was,
a lot
it was
of
a
places
decent
around
draw
here. Yeah.
too.
Awesome. That's super awesome. So before we get any further into this conversation, I'm going to do my introduction thing, and then we'll talk about you and your band and this album that came out and go from there.
All
Maybe
right.
we'll talk about more weddings and stuff. Hello and welcome to Start the Beat with Sikes. My name is Sikes, and this is my podcast. Before we get started, I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank everyone who checked out last week's episode. Well, actually, at this point, it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago because I've been a busy human. But if you listened to that conversation, I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks so much for coming back. Those of you out there who are new to the show, welcome. Please feel free to make yourselves at home, and as always, there's beer and soda in the fridge. Special shout out to anybody new listening to the show coming from Spotify. This will be the first new episode available on Spotify because
right.
Start the Beat is now available on Spotify. Yes, claps all around. It used to be really hard to get your podcast on the Spotify. Now that I've gotten my podcast on the Spotify, it is proof that it is not that hard to get your podcast on the Spotify. And today we are sitting here with 3 human beings in a band called Smokey Bellows. Say what's up to the people.
What's up, the people?
And let's introduce ourselves. Let's talk about the band and, tell me about it. Give me your pitch. Act like I'm an agent and you're going to get signed.
Oh boy, I don't know.
What's the pitch?
The pitch.
Why should people listening that don't know who you are be into you?
I'd say most of all, it's different.
Okay.
It's something that you don't hear a lot of. I think we have a pretty original sound, and our music. I don't know.
No, I'll back Nick up on that. Like, there's something.
It doesn't suck.
It's not something that's like different in the way either. Like, oh, this is some like hard to listen to experimental shit or anything. Like, it's just like, I don't know. There's not a lot of kind of heavier blues rockin' bands that aren't like straight up stoner rock or like dad rock ripoffs,
Sure,
shit like that, and like
And we got a banjo.
Mm-hmm.
People tend to
all
like
types of
that.
things.
Yeah.
So what we're dealing with here, is it's a string band, strings plugged into amplification.
Yes.
Some may call it rock music. Some people are afraid of the rock music term. I don't know where you sit in that spectrum.
Oh,
Some
no,
people,
we can be rock. That's
So
cool.
my soul,
Yeah.
rock and roll.
this dude. So you're a rock band in Pittsburgh doing stuff that is, a little outside the box, but accessible.
Right.
And where did the band start?
It started,
Or when?
Started right up the road from here. About 4 years ago now.
Started at a Chipotle.
Started out of Chipotle about 4 years ago.
50% of the band worked at a Chipotle at one
Yeah.
time or another.
That's where I met Kevin and Volpe and Tom, who's not
Tom,
here.
too. Yeah.
And I was sort of expanding on a singer-songwriting project that I had going on, and I picked them up, and It became Dick Whiskey and the Bottle Openers. That was the first incarnation of the project. And as things went along, and I guess we got a little more in touch with the sound we were going for, we scrapped that and started Smokey Bellows and picked up a very loud drummer and amps and everything. We were pretty much acoustic. Yeah, when we started, and then we all started buying amps and pedals and drums.
Yeah, back in the day, whenever I had a kick drum and like a cymbal or two, and Nick would always just be like, "We're not adding more drums. We're not adding more drums." And now we got a drummer.
Well, we didn't want to give you more
during right after our last album release. Volpe moved to a mountain in his car. So we had to replace him. And so we picked up the drummer. And then he came back. So we ended up with a full kit drummer and a washboard player. And then he's leaving again after this release show to go to Colorado. So we'll probably end up with 3 percussionists when you get back on Halloween this year.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So, it seems like the band's gone through a lot of evolution and change, a couple different people, some stylistic changes and things like that. How has all of that evolution affected the sound of this new record that we should talk about? It is titled Devil.
It's definitely the loudest, heaviest thing we've done. I think we found a good balance between the kind of folk end of the band with the washboard and the banjo and the blues rock, loud, aggressive other half, and managed to kind of mash those two things that we're all into together to make that.
Yeah. Did you record the album locally?
Yeah, we recorded it at Plus Minus in the South Side.
Was it with Sean?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. He was
Shout outs to Sean, the only motherfucker that still won't come on the podcast.
Oh no.
Really?
Yeah, there's only been 2 people that have turned down the podcast, Sean Cho and Manny Thiner.
Oh man,
I'm not surprised about Manny.
Yeah, that was his show I was running last night.
But Manny's a funny dude. But he was what did he say? He's like, I prefer to remain enigmatic. I was like, so fucking. It was like the best. I was like, okay, it's totally okay because you gave me the most Manny response ever. But yeah, Sean just doesn't want to do it. Because he's,
that seems very Sean.
Yeah, it's also very, very Sean.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've worked with him intimately on recording a project and things like that, and he's an awesome guy.
Oh, he was fantastic.
Yeah, Sean's an angel.
I couldn't be happier with his work on our music. It makes us sound decent.
Nice. So, when recording with him, did he just kind of fall back and just take like an engineer role and kind of let you do what you were going to do, or was he like throwing out like producer suggestions and making like creative what's the word I'm looking, creative critiques on things as you were recording them?
I'd say most of the time he sat back and engineered and we kind of self-produced. Yeah. There was a couple times where we needed a decision made from an objective point of view.
Totally.
And he was able to kind of come in and help steer something in the right direction. But for the most part, he sat there and recorded us and engineered.
I would love to work with Sean Cho on like a engineer producer standpoint, recording something with him and like getting his input, because I have no idea what kind of music he actually likes.
Dude, I tried to ask him a bunch and he was just like avoidant of it.
It's so weird.
He mentioned a band every once in a while.
Oh, he did. He showed up with the new Sleep album, which he gave like it was fine. Like it wasn't like he was in love with it. He was like, it was good.
I mean, it's cool because if you ask him for his input or any suggestions, he's got a lot of ideas. I mean, obviously he's listening to you, he's mixing the whole thing, he knows what he wants to hear.
Yeah.
So like he'll tell you what he thinks, but if you don't just ask him straight up, he's gonna just let you do your thing.
Yeah.
So
I like saw him wearing a Naked Ray Gun shirt once. That's the only time I ever saw him wearing a band shirt, and I was like, okay, well, either he just has that shirt for some reason, or he's at least into like late 70s, early 80s punk stuff. And I could picture that coming from him. He's about the right age for that. But I think that also he's like so burned out probably on music.
Oh yeah.
That, he's listening.
It's just like
all
he just
day.
doesn't like. It's not that he doesn't care. I think he just
shows
digests it and reacts to it in a different way than other people that maybe aren't as
I think that's exactly what you want from an engineer.
Yeah.
You want someone who's been around the ringer and knows the sounds that they want to hear and how to get there.
You want somebody that's jaded and doesn't like music anymore.
So now the album, I'm holding a physical copy of. Well, I was holding a physical copy in my hand.
He's holding
for
it
the video. This came out. Is this like physically released yet?
No,
Or-
we just
I
got those
pre-release.
in.
This
You
is a
got the
pre-release
pre-release.
copy.
That's right.
put it on
It comes out
Napster.
August 17th,
Yeah.
the day of our release show.
Awesome. And where's the release show at?
The Funhouse at Mr. Smalls.
Cool. Who are you playing with?
We are playing with Essential Machine
Okay.
and Bad Custer, who's
Cool.
been on your show. I
Yes,
believe.
they have been on the show.
I listened to their episode. It's great.
I haven't
Good
seen
stuff.
those gentlemen in quite a while.
They just had the great Sugar Ray hoax of 2018.
Yeah, dude.
What?
So they played the
made that
regatta.
whole thing up, right?
Yeah. They played the regatta on,
Okay.
was it Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
last
allegedly
night.
Sugar Ray was supposed to be there, but they never showed.
They got a bunch of people to come thinking they were going to see Sugar Ray. And they're all posting angrily on the event page, like, and this no-name band just played the stage the whole time.
I think Sugar Ray might have actually supposed to have been there. I'm
Do you
not
think so?
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I could see them
Do
making
you
that whole thing.
know?
I
up,
don't
man.
know. If I knew, I didn't even realize Regatta was this. This was this weekend.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with all these.
Kevin's really into boat culture.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mostly just being on a boat, listening to Jimmy Buffett and
Bud Light
drinking
Lime.
Bud Light Lime.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good stuff.
Fair enough. There's just okay. Good segue. I'm thinking about how much stuff there was going on this weekend, and I didn't even know the Regatta was this weekend, and that's supposedly a pretty big freaking deal, right? Like one of them big Pittsburgh things. There's a lot going on. So my question to you, people in a music band in Pittsburgh, how has it been navigating these dense waters?
Nick does it.
He's not, like booking shows, playing shows, going against like, maybe you being a band that has a more unique sound. You don't have to worry so much about like competing shows, but maybe you still have some crossover with people who like to come out to shows and friends and bands and stuff like that. Like, I know that's kind of a big question with a lot of answers, but
Yeah.
like just
So navigating the waters of the Pittsburgh music scene.
I mean, do you have a hard time booking shows, booking cool venues?
No, but I don't like booking shows a whole lot. I prefer to hop on if possible.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of playing promoter and artist, I guess.
Sure.
But no, whenever, I do book shows, I think generally the turnout's okay. We don't have too hard of a time getting them. We did the festivals, the Deutschtown. We're doing Little Italy for the third year in a row, outside Howlers, which is
Cool.
my favorite thing to do every
That's
year.
so much fun.
We close down Saturday night when everyone's hammered. People
though-
the road's open outside Howlers, but it's a
yeah.
wonderful shit show. And it's my
That was-
it's my favorite gig of the year.
That was rough last year. Someone actually like moved their car into Brian.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. That was so funny.
And then the one time we were playing and someone just parked their van in front of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they leave it open, but there's through the whole show there's somebody trying to wrangle people off the street.
Yeah.
But we're playing on the sidewalk. So there's nowhere to go, and then just somebody's always mad that there's people on the street, and the cars are mad that there's people on the street, and it's awesome.
There's free PBR and pizza.
Well, all right, straight up call out like about Little Italy Days or whatever. Is that what we call it?
That's what they call it.
Yeah. So there's no excuse to not have like street vendors selling cups of spaghetti.
Agreed. I walked up and down that whole street twice.
Yeah.
No one was selling spaghetti.
Maybe we could get Dom to do that for us, and we could be that.
Hell yeah, because
addition.
that's bullshit. That like when I first heard about that, I was like, cool, there's gonna be food. Hopefully like spaghetti or something, or like I don't know, lasagna in a cup.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think you're asking for anything crazy.
no, all right, perfect. There we go. This is official public.
I've never gone to Little Italy Days, but I'm aware of it, and I would have assumed it was, food focused.
There's a lot of food. for sure.
but just not.
But not what
Not
I'm
cupped
looking for.
spaghetti.
It's cupped
There-
spaghetti.
Is there a lot of food? I mean, there's like what, corn dogs and shit.
Cannolis, whatever those are.
Oh, cannolis are tight.
other
I do like cannolis. That's like a dessert though, not like a food.
Need some
Oh.
sustenance.
All right, so before we derail this anymore, like the fucking Thomas the Tank Engine train at Kennywood that derailed twice and they had to close it down already.
Dude, oh man, yeah. Well, there's been Thomas the Tank Engine things going off the rails all over the country. There's been one in Nashville. There was one out in Colorado. There's
Is there still a demand in pop
This
culture
is a legit
for Thomas the
conspiracy.
Tank
They just
Engine
opened up
attractions?
like a huge Thomas the Tank Engine Kittyland thing at Kennywood. It's like a
Why?
whole part of the park.
Do kids know what that
Do they
is?
still have the old
I mean,
Kittyland?
it's packed. Yeah, they still have both. Yeah,
Huh.
they kind of like moved.
That
it
is a
in-
good question. Do kids know what Thomas the Tank
I
Engine
thought that
is?
was like a dead part of.
I thought it was a dead franchise
Yeah.
too, but apparently, I mean, what it all comes down to is like if you go to any theme park, a lot of these bigger ones, like Cedar Point has the Peanuts Gang, and we used to have Garfield at Kennywood. Like you get these.
Yeah. He was kind of a
these-
I haven't
staple.
been to a.
They're
theme
basically
park
like
in
they're
10 years.
My assumption is that they're kind of like sponsorships. You know, like these
Okay.
companies help fund the park because their brand is in the park. So then it keeps, you know, things afloat for the park. It helps
Yeah,
extra
makes sense.
revenue come in. But I didn't realize that Thomas the Tank Engine was an existing property
is that
that
on
people
TV?
cared
I-
Can we
about. But
find that on Hulu?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, you
Probably
can
got
find
like a
it
new
somewhere, for
CG
sure.
animated
There-
series.
yeah, I think there's that shit.
I mean, they had like a whole fucking like they got the whole Thomas the Tank Engine part of the park now, and there's a whole store that's like all Thomas the Tank Engine toys and shirts and
Maybe that's
plushes
what we'll
and
do for
shit
the rest
In
of the day.
Kennywood?
in Kennywood.
We're saving the locomotive
Huh.
industry.
We could go to. Kennywood
I do like
after
going
this.
to Kennywood.
I haven't been there in about 10 years.
Yeah, dude, Tom's never been because he's from Erie.
Every time I go there, I think it's going to be fun. And I don't know.
And then
it's
you stand
fun
in
to-
lines and you see a lot of sad people.
Yeah.
Bring a vape and like take something that you can, take.
Oh yeah, candy flipping at Kennywood used to be the big thing in high school.
Yeah, doing that, getting on that.
You say you were aiming to not derail this conversation?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah, that's the shit. Though.
This conversation is hella Thomas right now. Anytime something's getting derailed, I'm just gonna say it's
Well,
Thomas.
whenever you start
I like
freaking
that.
out because you're just tripping a bit too hard at Kennywood, and the big old yins are in front of you's like being kind of racist, and you're confused. The safe space is the Thomas the Tank Engine zone. You go out, hang out there, ride the train. So long as it doesn't derail, brings you back down.
Well, it's closed until further notice now.
Shit.
Yeah, I know. Poor Thomas.
Poor Thomas.
But rewind. Booking shows versus, hopping on shows and things like that.
I don't know how we get back now.
How do we get back? Well, how we'll get back is I've kind of found myself in an opposite of where you're at.
Okay.
And I don't think there's a right or wrong answer for this, but I'm kind of in a position now where locally I almost don't want to play a show most of the time if it's not something
You like
that,
running your
that
own
we're
event.
running, because like this is mainly more of like a Grey Walker thing than a Sikes thing. But with Grey Walker, and this is nothing against anybody that we've ever played a show with, but we tend to find that things run smoother when we run it.
That's fair.
And with us, it's like really kind of crucial for us to keep like morale high in the band, and like playing like a bad show really beats some of the dudes down, and it just kind of affects everything else in the show. But if everybody's having a good time, and if we're able to, make a couple extra bucks and actually make sure the bands are getting paid because we know where all the money's going and things like that, we feel a lot better about it.
Mhm.
But it is a lot more work
It
at the
is.
same time.
It is. And I totally get that. And I do prefer to kind of be in charge of my own situation, but it just gets to be too much for me mentally. I get too stressed out, and that affects my performance whenever I'm playing. I think.
Yeah, fair
So-
enough. Fair enough. So are you booking your own album release show?
Yeah, I booked that months and months and months ago.
Cool.
Hard to get a date at the Funhouse. That place is really popping. But that's where we did our last one, and we had such a good experience. We wanted to do it again.
Yeah, last year's went off
Shout out
very
Denny.
well. So
Yeah. Makes that
Yeah,
room
Get
sound
Danny
like
on
gold.
the podcast.
He's a good sound dude. Yeah, he would be fun to talk to.
Mm.
Talk to him about like hot sauce and beards.
Yeah, talk about bikes and the Grateful Dead and hang out.
Yeah, you guys did talk about the Dead for a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a really good talk with him about hot sauce for a while.
Oh,
One time.
what type of sauces you
Yeah.
into?
Well, I like all kinds of hot sauce, but Grey Walker, we put out a hot sauce.
You did?
Yeah.
We put out a beef
Do you
jerky.
have some?
We should combine something here.
Do you
Try it
think you
after
could
the
dip
show.
beef jerky in it? Because we have a beef jerky.
Totally. You could totally dip beef jerky in it.
I would love to try your hot sauce.
Yeah, we can break
We
it
gotta
out
plug
later.
the beef jerky real
Yeah,
quick.
please plug it. That's awesome.
Our friend Dom runs the Black Market Deli.
Okay, yeah, up in Allentown.
Allentown, yeah. So he has it's his bestseller, the Smokey Bellows beef jerky.
Yeah.
That's fucking
And
awesome.
this is an exclusive here today. There's going to be a Devil's Cut made with Jim Beam Devil's Cut for the release show.
That is killer.
So
I don't eat meat, but I'm stoked for you guys.
Yeah, right.
You don't either.
I don't, and it's still though the best like product endorsement that we're gonna get is beef jerky.
But we had our hot sauce release party at the Funhouse.
Oh, that's
And
great.
that's how me and Denny got talking about hot
Okay.
sauce. And he was telling me about he's really into I can't remember the name now. I'm not gonna try to dwell on it, but there was this one.
Frank's.
No, it was like
Yeah.
it was like a more boutique brand
Oh.
hot sauce that like he was familiar with. I've never had any other stuff, but he was like, "Oh yeah, it's the best." Anyways, moving forward in bands and playing shows and stuff like that. So other local questions that I'm curious about would be bands that you play with, and maybe the work ethic of other bands that you're playing with, and like the work ethic of the scene. Like, what are some of your observations on that, and what you see other bands doing and not doing that maybe they should be?
Well, we only play with Bad Custer.
We used to only play with Bill Jasper.
Yeah.
That was before we changed our name to Smokey Bellows.
Yeah.
The work ethic of the scene. I don't know how to answer that.
Well, okay, we'll put it this way. Like, how involved do you consider you and like you guys to be in this band? Like, if you were to say like how much of your time goes into Smokey Bellows, because I know you're involved in several different things and everybody has lives outside of this, right?
Right.
But you'll say like for me, with everything I have going on, I'd say like Grey Walker's probably like a solid like 40% of what I do. And I wish it could be more, but I can't because of all the other shit that I'm doing. Like, where are you at? Like, what? Yeah, that just nix the podcast, and I can easily free up another 20%. That's it. All right, get the fuck out of here.
Sorry,
Gotta
guys.
get to work.
But like, where's your like percentage, or and like, do you even think about shit like that, or am I just a psychopath?
I don't really. I think if I thought about how much time I wanted to be actually spending on this project, I'd get pretty upset with work and,
Yeah, totally.
all the shit you have to do. But I'd say all of my free time goes into this project.
So this is like for you, that's kind of like the main.
This is
baby or
absolutely
main child.
my brainchild project.
Word.
Yeah.
Like my number one priority
Yeah.
creatively.
And then when you have 6 people in the band, it's hard to find enough time to do everything.
I'd say 25% of my job is wrangling.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
guys.
25% of the time.
I have a terrible work ethic.
Yeah.
But half of us have a very bad work ethic in general. So that's like.
Almost
Are you gonna
all of
refute
us have a really bad work ethic.
So
But about
let's-
half of us are perpetually an hour late.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. So what? Why?
That's what
Why
I keep
be an hour
asking.
late?
I'm on time.
Who's an hour late? You?
Well, I have to give the other guy a ride because he lives with me, so I'm
Fair
going to
enough.
blame him.
Okay. All right. All right. So we'll blame the guy that's
We'll
not
blame
here.
all the people.
We're looking
that
at
are
you.
here today. We're 3 out of 6 right now. So.
We'll say though, Brian, he's great the whole way.
Brian's
through.
on time. On time, Brian. That's what we call him.
You met Brian. He's drumming for Suavity's Mouthpiece.
Cool.
So he's our guitar player.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. So where do you guys practice at? Do you do like you have like a house, or you do one of the storage space things?
I bought a house with my girlfriend in March, and
Cool.
we built a practice space studio in the basement.
Awesome. Where'd you buy it?
Bascom Observatory Hill.
Okay. Nice. We're
Still neighbors.
let's Thomas this shit again.
Yeah.
So thinking about buying soon. Like, this place is cool, but I mean, we're renting, and it's still kind of like small for like what we want to do. Yeah, we're thinking about like Observatory Hill or Mount Troy, like still like this sort of side of town. Like it over here a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Up your
I lived here for
portions of the city.
Yeah.
No tunnels. No tunnels.
I mean, like we both we live over here. We both work in the north side. It's just like it makes sense. Like keep it.
I loved living in Troy Hill. We just couldn't find a house with what I needed.
Yeah.
To kind of build my space in this area. So we're close enough. Still happy, but I do miss it up here.
Absolutely. Now with an album release comes album promotions.
Yes.
And I mean, I guess that's one of the things you're doing here now.
Yeah.
You know, you're knocking one of them off the checklist.
Right.
But there's a lot of other shit. You know, you got your social media stuff and your music video stuff if you're one of those types of bands that are into that sort of things.
Would like to be if anyone's listening.
How is all of the promotion behind the scenes stuff like going for this album, and how's it been in the past? Like, how do you integrate the modern world into your not so modern sound? And I don't mean that in like a slight, but you know what I mean?
Right, right.
Because I find with a lot of bands that I talk to that kind of do like more like outside the box stuff, a lot of the people that their fan base, like who they would want to attract, they're not social media people.
Right.
So how the fuck do you reach out to those people?
I have no idea, and I've been trying to figure that out. So when did we record this? May. And since then, I've been trying to get something drummed up and trying the Facebook sponsored ads for the release show, and been reaching out unsuccessfully to like written publications.
Yeah, that shit's
I have no idea how to manage any of that, but I'm doing my best.
What I've come to somewhat realize with the publication stuff and the blogs, obviously there's, you know, if you know somebody there that knows somebody there, you can get in the door.
Yeah.
And then there's also a lot of people that, you know, will pay publicists, and then those publicists have their connections. And those publicists are, we'll say they're taking care of a couple dozen bands, right? So I think between what the publicists are getting paid to send to paid promotions plus friends, you're maxing out space there.
Right.
It's like, when is the rare opportune window? It's like, oh man, like we really just need another band to fill out this article.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna fucking happen.
I've been kind of just shooting emails like crazy, and you know, obviously you were kind enough to have us, but not many other people like to reply to those sorts of things.
It's fucking hard.
It's very difficult.
And I think that where I'm at now we just released this new Grey Walker album, we've been emailing people like crazy and not getting anything. And I'm just kind of like, you know, some people say the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over again without like the same like bad results, and you just keep doing it. Right. So I'm like, if I keep sending out these emails, like I'm insane. There needs to be some other way to push forward on this.
I think
like,
that's
okay,
it, though.
you know, who do I gotta make friends with? Who do I gotta
to the bands that
rub them elbows with? Yeah,
come to Hambones and things. I'm like, how do you book? Like I send out about 1,000 emails a day, and 1 out of maybe 500 come back to me. So I think it's just keep blasting. And
I mean, booking shows, that's definitely
I think it's the same idea though.
The same concept, but I don't think it. I think it might work a little differently. I mean, I could be wrong about that. Same concept,
right?
But I think I think it might be easier to book shows than get somebody to write about you in a blog post.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I got nothing. Volpe, Kevin.
What was the original question?
I was asking about how promoting your band has been via social media, like what tactics you've been using or not using,
We're
and what
not
you've seen working.
Good at social media.
Yeah.
All of our stuff seems pretty self-aware and sarcastic. Like, here's this thing we're doing. Check it out, maybe. But
and I don't think any of us are very active on like independent personal accounts.
Right. Like none of us actively use Instagram or Twitter or anything.
But
so
I go out, not like anywhere particular or like somewhere that people
Volpe's
like
our man
music.
on the streets for
sure.
I
just kind of walk around and just talk to strangers and like try to shoehorn in stuff about band every now and again. It hasn't worked.
I mean, I think that you're better off doing that than the reverse. I think it always helps to make a genuine connection with a human being face to face.
Yeah,
Word
hell
of
yeah.
mouth is definitely higher on our list than social media.
Yeah.
Getting into a
active
conversation
response.
with people about music is easy as shit. Like, as much as getting in a conversation with a random passerby is, but like, you can get in that. You just sit down on a bench long enough, you're going to be sitting next to people and talking to them. But probably like all of us are people that, you know, you would see on the street and be like, I bet that guy plays in a band. I'm sure we've all heard that. Hey, you look like you play in a band. And so people just start talking about it, and you just tell them, and now you've had an actual conversation with somebody, so they're going to listen to your band. Maybe. I mean,
you know what's so funny on the reverse of it? There'll be times when I'm a fairly social person, but sometimes I just don't feel like talking to people. And some people will be like, oh, like, so like, what are you getting into later? Like, you know, like just like general, like if you're at a coffee shop or something like that. And it's like, I never want to say like, oh yeah, my band's playing a show, even though I probably should. It's like, I just don't want to talk about it. Cause it's like, oh, you're in a band. It's like, yeah, I'm in a band. And what do you do? Like, what's your band called? And it's like, I don't feel like answering questions right now. I just want a coffee.
Oh,
But at the same time, it's like maybe they're genuinely curious and I should be taking advantage of this opportunity. It's like, well, you ask, so here it goes.
I take if you're giving out the like standard, oh, what do you play? What's this type of stuff? I'm assuming that person actually is just like being courteous a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Where like, I don't know, you just go in strong. I would never, though, tell anybody to come to the show that I was playing that night or something. I don't want to encounter that person again. I want to never see them again, but see like one listen on Spotify and be like, all right, we're working.
I always like though, like when you do maybe get into that conversation and somebody like, you know, like, yeah, we're playing a show tonight, blah, 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 blah. No, it's like, oh, cool. Like, yeah, maybe I'll swing through. Like, why do people feel inclined to say maybe I'll swing through?
Yeah.
Just saying no.
They never have.
It's kind of rude, I guess.
Get a little closer. You're getting a little too far away.
Sorry, I'm drifting.
Just go
lock the wheels. Gotta lock the wheels.
Yeah.
They don't lock. That's some cheap IKEA stuff.
That's the best chair I've ever seen.
Swedish people are lightweight. They don't move. Apparently, they don't need locked
dainty
wheels.
Bodies. Those fragile Swedes.
All right, Thomastown. This conversation. Hashtag.
I'll throw it out there. I feel like an acceptable, just like ethnic group of people that I can shit on, right, is like Scandinavian people, right?
That's probably
be
fine.
like, dude, those fins and shit, hairless chests. That's what I know. Yeah, we can move off that.
All right,
Edit that out.
we'll get. Nah, fuck it. I'm dying. So, music video. You said you would be interested in doing a music video.
Yeah.
You don't know any people, any local directors or anything?
Not particularly, no.
There's plenty.
Yeah.
Some have been on the show. We can find somebody to do a music video for you.
You know,
I met a dude in
did I ever
parking lot
introduce you to
doing
Doug,
videos.
who plays in Plasmid? Because we went and saw him.
Very briefly at a show.
I know
He does
Doug
a lot
does,
of video work.
Yeah,
He did a
okay.
video for Against Me. I mean, sorry, not Against Me. Anti-Flag.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah,
Well,
I mean,
let's
yeah,
make it
that's
happen.
like kind of his thing.
Yeah.
He would probably want paid, which I assume we would do anyway.
Oh, we're already so far in the hole for this album. What's a little bit more?
Doug's a good dude. Shout outs to those guys. They are playing Brutal Beer Fest with us.
Oh, excellent.
Shout outs to Brutal Beer Fest. October
When's that happening?
20th.
October
Mr.
20th?
Small's Theater.
Cool.
And Funhouse. Both stages all day.
Is that metal and beer?
Excellent.
Metal and beer.
All right.
Yeah, it's all the bands that are playing collaborate with a brewery and they get to make an exclusive beer for the event.
Wow.
Who's playing that?
This year we have Dying Fetus headlining.
Ooh,
No
hell
kidding.
yeah.
And
Maybe
then
in Colorado.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun. I've seen
You got to come back for the beer fest.
yeah, it's
man.
Dying Fetus, Incantation, Through the Eyes of the
Classic.
Dead, Gate Creeper, Greywalker. There's some other Plasmid, No Reason to Live.
Classic.
Who else is playing? I'm like blanking on Riparian. And I know that they're Black Tusk. Now at this point, I don't remember everybody that I mentioned who I did, but it's a lot of bands,
That
a lot of
sounds like a good
breweries.
time.
Yeah, man.
It's our third year.
level.
I'm one of the like organizers for the event,
Okay.
and
So every band gets to make a beer.
every band gets to make a beer.
What's the Dying Fetus beer?
I don't know yet. I know who they're.
It's got a bunch of flavors.
I know who they're collaborating. I know who they're collaborating with, or I heard who they were collaborating with. I don't remember now, but I don't know.
It's not Planned Parenthood.
Dude, if it's,
I don't remember what brewery it is though.
They should make
or
it,
what the beer is. I don't have any idea.
There's so many good dying fetus beers that could happen.
They're gonna like make it with some amniotic fluid or
if it was like a pissing in the mainstream based beer, if I was like a bit more alert, like I would think a good name for that, or like a 20% something that's just like the wrong one to fuck with.
Yeah,
you're like that would be cool. Like that's an easy one to do. That would be cool. Cool guys. Or nah, you can't do really a one shot, one kill one. I don't know.
you really know your fetus.
Yeah, I don't actually even like them that much. There's just like
I feel like if there was like a dying fetus topic on like the Jeopardy board, like you might be able to get through this motherfucker.
I was in 9th grade and I went to a summer slaughter and I saw them eating at like a McDonald's or something, and ever since I've just decided that like, even though I'm not going to listen to them very much, I'm just going to hold dying fetus to like a higher standard and just be like, he's pretty short. Like, that's the thing.
I like dying fetus. I listened to him a lot more when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Then I haven't like yet kept up with it, but I don't keep up with anything, so it has nothing really against dying fetus. It's more just I just don't have the time to keep up with bands.
I regularly, just for some reason, will get like the "kill your mother, rape your dog" riff. Just like in my head, just good riff.
Thomas.
I don't even Thomas. I don't even know where to go from that one. So, do you have any other gigs? You mentioned Little Italy and then the album release show. I
think that's all we have booked right now.
Let's refresh on the album release show again.
Yeah, August 17th at the Fun House. Tickets are $10. Essential Machine, Bad Custer, physical copies of the album with a wonderful artwork by our friend Mick Malone.
Shout outs to Mick.
Yes. I love you, Mick.
I love you, Mick.
Mick.
But yeah, he did all these drawings to go with my lyrics in the album, so the booklet's pretty cool. And yeah, it's just going to be a really good time. We have a keyboardist playing with us, which we never have, and a couple people who participated in the recording are going to be playing the show. And
cool. So it'll be like an extra special performance, like celebrating
the album release is always dope.
I always like to include everyone.
A bunch of other people on stage to do like auxiliary work in the songs.
All our moms will be there, probably.
Maybe even a grandma. Who knows?
Is that genuine? Do you have like the supportive family behind the band and stuff like
big
that?
Time.
Kevin's grandma was at a show at Deutschtown.
At Deutschtown, yeah.
Kevin's
she came
mom,
from Florida just to see us.
Yeah, and
that's not true.
She grooved a little bit.
She grooved? Oh man, I didn't see her grooving.
Kevin's mom's our only actual fan.
Our only fan.
I think she bought a shirt at every show we've ever played.
Oh yeah, she'll definitely get the new one.
There's some of the Grey Walker moms come to the shows. I never had any family come to any Sikes shows.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I don't have a supportive family, but I don't know, they're a little weird. But I think it's always great to hear when like local artists have like parents that like are like cool with what they're doing to like come out, maybe bring some friends and stuff like that. Because I never had that. I'm not trying to project any sadness on anyone.
We can get our moms to come to your shows. It's no problem.
I've had other people's moms come to my shows for sure.
This is just
but not mine.
We can provide surrogate show moms for you.
We're a very mom friendly band.
Yeah.
That seems like that should be like a group, like the surrogate show moms.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, you mentioned mom friendly band. I imagine, like having a more accessible sound definitely helps the parents come to the shows, and also helps like opportunities for things like being able to play the Little Italy outside thing. And
I think we kind of ride the line where we're almost a little too abrasive sounding for a lot of events, but things like Little Italy we can get away with. We wouldn't be playing, I don't know, what wouldn't we fit in at? Oh,
like things that would be
like the arts
for?
fest.
Yeah,
or the regatta.
That's a little bit.
So you mentioned that you play with Bad Custer a bit. I don't know if that was just like a joke or
no. Jesse
we
actually
Bad Custer a lot.
Jesse produced our first.
Okay,
album.
so like where they were playing the regatta, right?
Yeah, that
like,
wouldn't work for
it
us.
It wouldn't work for
No.
you guys. I gotcha.
No.
Yeah. So
We don't have
that divide.
There's no major key songs in our repertoire or anything like that. It's all kind of.
Do you think that's the key? No pun intended.
There was
Fuck.
absolutely
Nice.
a pun intended there.
But is that the key to mainstream success?
Not having
Major
major key
songs?
songs or having major key songs?
Having them.
It is.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, fun. It's harder to be annoyed by fun music.
I don't know. I get.
Oh,
annoyed
I
by-
disagree with you.
For
there,
your
but
average
that's me.
dude, just
Yeah,
like
for the
sit
average
around,
person.
Very
for like a
depressive.
regatta type thing, shit like that.
I have this
Yeah.
thing with like a lot of pop music when I get annoyed if it sounds like it belongs in a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! That
But I
sucks.
like Disney movie songs because they're in a fucking Disney movie. But when I hear like a song that's not a Disney song,
But it could be.
and it could be, it
Yeah.
annoys the shit out of me.
Like
I can buy that.
I have
for
really
sure.
weird
I also
pet
hate
peeves.
Disney though.
I don't like people that stand on escalators. That fucking annoys.
What are you
the hell out of
supposed
me.
to do on an escalator? Sit
Walk.
down.
Walk up it.
Oh.
Walk up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It
I
helps
got you.
Now you
expedite
are
the
on
I
process.
thought you were like sitting on escalators, like just waiting.
That's
No,
how
like,
the
keep
guy
it-
from
keep
Animal
it
Cunt
moving.
died. He was trying to ride down the escalator, fell
Like-
off.
like-
Man, that was just like last month.
Oh,
But I mean that also varies. It's more or less like in like public transit situations. Like if I'm like trying to like
trying to get somewhere and
get
people are in
somewhere,
the way,
you
yeah.
know, like
If
Stop.
it's like
No,
busy
yeah, I
out
get you.
too,
It's
like
like,
there's
okay, if
other
it's like-
people, and if it's 3 a.m, stand on the escalator all you
sure.
want.
Or if you're like carrying something like really heavy, or if like you're like old or disabled, I'm not gonna slight you for like not walking up the escalator. But like,
well, we'll take the moderate middle ground. The real problem is when it's a 2-lane escalator. Stand to the side. Stand to
Yes.
the stand side. Let the people walk up the other. Don't stand on the same step with your friend. And just stand there. You're blocking the way. Don't do that.
I get really annoyed with the people that walk the bike trails, and then they like
Yeah.
they walk side by side, like they're just completely like ignoring the fact that there are other people using this thing.
Mm-hmm.
That really annoys me. Or people, they ride their bikes really slow next to each other so they can talk.
Yeah.
Which is still a shit.
It sounds like
talk
your
about a
pet
social
peeve is
activity.
just anyone who cuts down on your efficiency while
Well,
moving.
it's not just
Yeah.
me; it's other people, and it's just like it's really impractical.
Yeah,
to, like,
it's
do that.
inconsiderate. It's plainly rude.
Yeah, I don't know. Thomas.
Depends how I'm feeling on the day.
Now, outside of the band, what does everybody do for fun?
No, for fun. I don't like fun.
I play video games.
You mentioned Overwatch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Our drummer in Grey Walker is really big into Overwatch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you two should play with each other sometime.
Does he play snipers?
I don't know. I just know
Because
he's.
I won't hang out with him. Then.
I just know he's really fucking good. I've heard that he's like really good at Overwatch.
I'm not really good.
Yeah.
I play for funsies, but
Yeah. Apparently he's really good at Overwatch. I don't know. I never
Yeah.
played it. I don't keep up with video games. What do you do for fun besides like leave town?
I spend large portions of my day just sitting next to the river.
Okay.
Like
thinking?
Nah, not really.
Just
I
becoming
grab a
one with
couple
the
tall
one with
boys.
nature
I
around you.
just sit down by the river. You know, sometimes if I'm in a good mood, I'm gonna be like, we'll have a meditation session down here. Most of the time, though, I'm just gonna sit here and like drink some beer by the river and like talk to the people that walk by, or like sit on a bus stop and like hassle people as they walk by or something of that nature. I visit our drummer Andy at his job all the time.
And where and when can you find Andy?
yeah, let's tell everybody.
You can find Andy at Industry
Industry Public
Lawrenceville.
House, Lawrenceville.
a lot.
Usually Wednesday through Saturday,
Yes.
late night shifts, sometimes the
Just
secondary
repeatedly ask him for samples of every beer they
Yeah,
have.
dude, just get samples. If you just sit there, get enough samples, make sure just look at the ones that have like real high alcohol content and get the samples of those ones and just ask for like multiples of them. Don't tell them that we sent you. The atmosphere in that place, calling out industry, the atmosphere in that place kind of sucks. The bartenders are all wonderful.
They're great.
Actually, all the employees I've interacted there are pretty good, but the atmosphere, it's your metals.
Yeah.
Your metals.
They got those light bulbs with the cages around them.
Which are cool. Nick's got those in his house, so no offense over that. But, it's a little passe. It's a little lacking in heart.
All right, so let's say I gave you fucking 25 grand to remodel industry, right? What would you do first? What would be the first fucking thing you changed?
I just hit stuff with other things and take the 25.
Smash it up a bit.
Listen, I'm trying to have a productive conversation with you about remodeling. Okay?
Remodeling things?
I take this very seriously.
Really?
No.
Okay. All right, I'll say this. I'm a wood guy. I like wood. I like wood stuff.
It's mostly wood in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like stupid wood. I like dirty things. I like when places are kind of dirty.
Yeah.
Actually, all right, I'm taking this all back. We could just make it the bar from Cheers.
Okay.
That'd be cool. That wouldn't be too far from Ham Bones, but like,
I get what you're saying. Like it seems too much like the cookie cutter catalog definition of what like a modern bar should look like. A lot of those places
they look all industrial, but they're also super like clean and
it is
pristine.
A young
it's weird.
professionals
Makes me
type
uncomfortable.
thing. Yeah. I'm always there trying to get people to buy me drinks.
Yeah, and eating their food after they leave.
And stuff, yeah, eating off their plate whenever they're trying to walk it back, that type of stuff.
I don't know if you're going to be allowed back in there.
You talk.
He's moving. He's
anyways.
A
favorite. He's a favorite. He's a staple.
Talk to people there, and I'm always like, talking to them, and they're all like conservative young professional guys. They're like, I own a business, and if you want a job and really earn some money, like, I'm like, I got a job already, but like, this is my hobby. Hassling you guys with industry.
Yeah, I mean, that place, it's kind of cookie cutter at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have your exposed brick and your Edison bulbs and
that's what they're
metal,
called.
the metal piping and like the wood tables and stuff. I like that shit too. But it's like, I don't know. I can see what you're saying.
It's neutral. It's an Applebee's. Is what it is. Like, it's basically an Applebee's for like 27-year-old, like, I don't know, people in the medical field, but not necessarily doctors. You know what I mean?
Hyper specific.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what you're telling me is you really wouldn't need 25 grand for this renovation.
No, it's a perfectly acceptable place.
Maybe you just like replace the light bulbs with like normal light bulbs.
Honestly, it's bright enough in there a lot of the time.
Yeah, you could probably just
get rid of the light bulbs.
It is not the most poorly lit bar that like
they have a lot of windows.
Yeah, there's windows. It's if you're there like at 11 in the morning or something, like on a summer day, when that sun's just coming through that window, man. Ooh, it's hard.
The thing I like about industry, and I've been to other places that have like the similar draft list that they have, where it tells you like obviously what's on draft and all the details about it, but it also tells you like how much of the keg is left and like what's coming up next. And I like all those things. And the other thing that's really cool about this too, from my social media promotion nerd perspective, is if you follow them on Twitter, they have their draft list is synced to Twitter. So whenever something kicks and something new comes on, it's like, oh, now pouring. It's like synced, so it automatically updates everything. And I'm like, man, that is super convenient for a business.
That's pretty smart.
I just like when you're in there, because really, I don't usually go to bars because it's so much cheaper to just buy beer
40s.
and drink it
Yeah.
and somewhere else. Or like the Rock Room. So whenever I'm at Industry, it was like the first time that I'd been somewhere where they had like, you could tweet at Industry and it would like roll over the top, which was awesome because about half of it's insults. So like, it just keeps going by.
I didn't know they had that.
Yeah, it's up there and
I've
it's
never seen
not
that.
really moderated. So it just kind of like, it'll be like, I went to Industry, talk about terrible something. And you're just like, haha, that's cool. Although, again, shout out to all the bartenders at Industry. Shout out to the other people that I've talked to. They're all very nice to me for no reason because I'm gonna do everything I can to not pay for anything, and I probably won't tip either. So, like,
I don't know.
I'm fine with Industry.
Yeah, I'm fine with
I have
it.
no strong opinions.
I'm there too much. I just walk in. If it's raining, pop in for water. You know, you can't sit in one place too long. So I might show up. I might be sitting like somewhere or walking around, like walking in the cemetery, sitting by a river or something like that. Well, I might be there for like literally 18 hours that day. So I got to get up and walk around and do everything. I also hang out at Beer on Butler. You know, Zach, if you listening, what up? He works there. I talk to him. I get me a tall boy or a 40 and I sit there and I try to hold the door open for people that are coming in. If you're ever at Beer on Butler and I'm holding the door open for you, I appreciate
You
tips,
don't have to give him money.
but I don't expect it. You know, I'll carry your stuff to your car for you if you'd like. Carry it home if you live in the area. And
Thomas, now kind of wrapping stuff up with our chat here, talking about places in Pittsburgh and things that we wish we could change in one way or another. In terms of local music venues and places that you're playing, is there anything as a band that you think should be or could be like improved in any way, or anything that you would like to see change with the way some of these places are run? Or are you fine with everything?
I've got no complaints. I miss some places. I miss James Street. Thunderbird was cool. I don't know what's going on with that joint.
Mm-hmm.
I don't miss the Altar Bar one bit.
No, fuck
Hated going there.
You know, it's so interesting, like just coming from the different scene backgrounds, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, as somebody in a metal band, it's like, I miss Altar Bar.
Really?
Yeah, it was a great venue for us to play.
I hated standing in it.
As a metal, like, I guess I'm just thinking it was like a perspective thing. I didn't mind going to shows there either, but obviously, as a person in a metal band, I never played a show at the Thunderbird.
Right.
I did.
I've never played
hip
there
hop
either. I just liked going there.
I liked the
once in a
spot.
while.
Yeah, and then what was the other one that you mentioned?
James Street.
James Street.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, James Street was a great venue.
That was open for Deutschtown.
Yeah, we played the ballroom.
What is it? Open as a venue again?
No,
it was just open one time only.
Yeah, it was just open
Deutschtown.
one time only. Yeah,
Okay.
They had.
I wasn't sure what was going on because I like
Pittsburgh
wandered
Winery,
up.
I guess, sponsored the
Okay.
building, so I guess they just threw up the money to let whoever owns the building open it up for the day, and they just brought PAs in.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah, I had no idea what was going on.
It was crazy. The ballroom was like still intact, like everything was there minus the PA.
Right.
So what you're saying is go and strip it.
Well, I mean, there's like a state, like they say had like rebuilt the stage and stuff before they closed it, and all that stuff is still there. I was surprised that they hadn't like ripped all of that out yet. Like the room looked literally exactly the same.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't seem like
But
whoever
it could
owns,
look like the bar from Cheers. Is what
whoever
you're
has
getting at.
done whoever bought the building, it's apparent they haven't done anything with it yet.
I would assume someone just bought it and is holding on to
Yeah.
it and seeing what comes along.
They're probably going to try to flip it.
Yeah.
But you're pretty much okay with, or like outside of missing places, you're okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get. You can go to 20 different shows a night.
Yeah.
It's hard to get everyone in one place.
I'm in the same boat as you, where I think that everything's super cool.
Yeah.
And I get super interested in all these people with like this Pittsburgh music ecosystem project, and we got to fix this and that. And I don't
as
know.
long as there's musicians,
I find myself that like if you're actually like going out and playing shows and going to a few shows, everything's like totally cool. Anytime I like hear these people fucking complaining about stuff, I'm like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like, who are you? Like, I don't know who the fuck you are.
Shut the fuck up.
Do you even come out to shows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no fucking idea.
You can catch a band any day of the week, usually something decent, you know. And like I said, I said this to someone else the other day. The only hard thing is getting patrons to your show because there are so many options.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I kind of touched on that earlier. Like, you know, if you have trouble with that, because a lot of times there are competing shows.
It kind of goes back with the like social media promotion stuff too. A lot of the time you just don't know that things are going on. Like, there's not any way to spread that information in like a singular.
There absolutely is, and it's Mary Jo's profile. If I want to know what's going on in Pittsburgh any day of the week, I hop on Jo's profile, and she has everything listed that is going on in the greater Pittsburgh area.
Nice.
I've never looked at that.
That's where you find what's going on.
But I think that also becomes a thing with like the different kind of scenes.
No, totally, like, yeah. Because I don't think that she's probably posting too much stuff that I'm involved in. That's nothing against her. Yeah. We're just disconnected.
Yeah.
You know,
she probably didn't have that heartless reunion gig on Friday posted up or anything.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But also that stuff has its own ecosystem and like functions on its own.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the one thing that we could use a little bit more could maybe be a place that's a bit more venue-y, that's just like a smaller, like a more than a Roboto, more venue-y than like a Ham Bones, but still less than like a Rex or something like that. I think that would be cool if we had like a more distinct, like, well, I guess we have Howlers. Never mind.
I mean,
we're covered.
There are places, but I kind of get what you're saying.
Like just like a mid-sized club, not really a bar.
Yeah. We don't really have a mid-sized thing now. I mean, the Smalls at Funhouse is picking up a lot of slack that was kind of a problem for a while.
That doesn't have re-entry.
Do they do no re-entry?
You got no re-entry there.
I think a lot of that has to do with insurance and things like that.
I'm sure it makes perfect sense liability wise, but it's annoying when I want to go get food and I have to not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? What the fuck was I gonna say? Oh, the one. If I were to pick out any problem in the Pittsburgh music scene, I think it is the bands that play too much.
I can buy that.
Like Smokey Bellows.
Well, it's you have two shows in the next 2
months. Yeah, I'd say that's totally.
But there's some bands that play every weekend, and a lot of the time, those are bands whose shows like you're competing against,
right?
And then you get like a lot. Like then you're playing so much, and then maybe you start to feel some type of way about people not coming out to shows. It's like, well, you're playing all the time. I feel like if we were able to have some self-restraint, or if promoters would, I don't want to use the word like police things because that sounds a little bit too aggressive, but maybe go out of their way to maybe be like, oh, you know, like I know these half dozen bands and I'm going to book them for every show, which a lot of promoters do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's try to reach outside the box. Cause like if I'm going to be a promoter and promote a show every week, let's not throw the same bands on it. Cause there's definitely enough talent in air quotes to go around. So a lot of people don't want to take the time to research it. And then also at the same time, promoters doing that creates those bubbles that we talk about, those little segregations in the scene, because they don't, whether, I don't think it's an intentional thing. I just think it's everybody's juggling so much stuff. So it's so much easier for them to be like, well, I'll just, you know, these guys are reliable. You know, they'll get 5 people to come out and I know they'll play the show. So whatever.
Yeah. We're friends, and there are a lot of people.
I do think that over time though has created a bit of a problem in terms of like the segregation and like the saturation of shows that we have.
If you're getting offered it too, I mean, I think like once, twice a month is like a pretty solid amount of time to play if you can get it.
Yeah, especially if you're like able to play on different ends of the city, because it's almost like playing in two different cities, like playing in Southside and playing in Bloomfield.
But if you're getting,
they're both Pittsburgh shows, but that's like you're playing different cities because of the people that just
if you're getting offered 4 or 5 shows a week or somewhere in that vicinity, it's got to be hard to say no too. You know, because you're getting the gigs, you want to play out.
Yeah,
but
it's the restraint's hard. We get asked to play the Smiling Moose so much that like we've joked multiple times about just leaving our gear there. Like we get like 1 or 2 offers to play.
Never
the
played
Moose
there. There's a lot of stairs there.
Yeah, if you had to play there all the time, I would leave my gear there instead of the stairs. Like,
I like the Moose.
I like the Moose a lot.
You know, I mean, loading in, loading out is. I mean, it's not the best, but I mean, it's in the grand scheme of things. That's like, you know, an inconvenient 5 to 10 minutes of your day.
Yeah.
It's a thing that already sucks in the first place is moving your gear, so it sucks a little bit more. You get over it.
Yeah. I mean, if you shift your mindset to be like, well, hey, you know, I lifted something heavy. You know, I feel kind of good. I'm all juiced up. Get your adrenaline's pumping.
Yeah. The adrenaline's pumping. My back hurts.
Yeah, you don't seem like an adrenaline junkie.
Me?
Yeah.
No, dude, I'm all about it. I could get down with some adrenaline stuff. I'm not a heavy lifting type of guy a lot of the time. I could be. I don't know. I couldn't be. I wish I could be. Be tight as hell. Can you imagine if I was like 250, just all muscle?
A hard body motherfucker.
Yeah, dude, that would be chill.
Yeah.
But
a buddy of mine posted this video from, he was at Migration Fest and he posted a video of one of the bands that was playing, and some like death metal band, and the singer was like huge, like this, like ripped as fuck, and just like you know, like really intense vocals, long ass hair, and I was like, that's one of the scariest fucking people I've ever seen in my life. Like the dude just looks frightening.
That
like
could be you, man.
Like he's fucking jacked. Like that dude should, like, he should be in the fucking WWE if he isn't already. Like,
go to Colorado,
huge,
get jacked in Colorado, and then come back. And then we can put you on, like, instead of the washboard, like a marching band bass drum or something equally.
No, you just pick up cars whole and like you just
just smack them. We'll work with Kevin's. We'll start off.
Play them like an accordion.
That would be so fucking sick.
Tight.
So, all right, let's get this Thomas back on the track here, and let's fucking wrap it up. So one more time, the album release show is
August 17th at the Funhouse with the great Essential Machine and Bad Custer.
The album's coming out on the same day as, right?
Yes.
Okay, is that going to be like a digital thing?
Yeah,
you have all that set up with
the CD
internet?
Baby Pro package.
Okay, cool.
So anywhere you can stream music or buy music, you can get our album. But the physical one comes with all the great artwork by our friend Mick. And I think
he's Gravebug on Instagram.
Yes, thank you.
Is that spelled with an E? Is it GRA, like Gravebug?
I think it's Grave.
Or is it full on?
There's an E. There's an E
okay,
in there.
cool. I'm not on, so don't listen to me on that one. It's got the E.
But I think it's a good album, and I think people like it.
Have the E. You know, for some reason, I saw it one time and was like, I don't think there's an E on that.
Volpe, would you buy our album?
No, I don't pay for music.
Would you steal it?
I don't really keep a lot of physical media around.
Would you listen to it on like Bandcamp or YouTube or something on your phone?
I'd listen to it on Bandcamp. Only on Bandcamp. Not on Spotify, though. Only on Bandcamp.
What is your like preferred music digestion streaming
my preferred method used to be I had one of them dank ass like big old iPods. And then I dropped it and it died. And I mostly just pirated all that old-fashioned style, you know, you type in the name.
Yeah, you put in the work.
Fire. Yeah.
Torrents.
Yeah, I earned
zip files, unzipping them.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh man, my files.
File management.
The folder that was in, immaculately organized.
Oh yeah.
His hard disk is so fragmented.
Did you have, was it separated by artist and then inside that folder albums?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. With the year attached.
I put the year up
chronological
front,
order.
So yeah, hell yeah.
Got to.
My record collection's chronological.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
by
that's a good
artist.
way to go.
I love that.
Just like
Perfect.
I have a lot of friends that collect stuff and they file their band's records like alphabetically too, and I'm like,
Nope.
no way,
Unacceptable.
You you fucking
No.
serial killer.
Yeah, we're
What's
not
wrong with
friends anymore. They're probably Swedish.
Soft bodies.
All right, so
Yeah, we went full circle.
iTunes was your thing.
I think the pirate
I
bit was
used
his
Linux
thing.
was the kicker. So I was using Clementine.
You would be a Linux user.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not surprised one fucking bit.
nerd.
But I'm a real computer guy. For all you people out there, you can't see it, but
They can see that. They can see it.
Yeah.
This guy just screams technology.
Man, Uncle Ted. If only he was here to have me back. Guys, are you in
What?
Uncle Ted?
Who is
Ted
that?
Kaczynski, the Unabomber?
Yeah, for sure.
Hate technology, man. No. All right, so I dropped my iPod. It broke. I was pretty upset.
Yeah,
I think
that's heartbreaking.
I
It's
might
hard to
have
get the
cried.
classic anymore.
It's like losing a friend.
It had been with me since, middle school. I'd had a Zune before that, and I'm gonna go on Zune defense to say too, Zunes are cool. Everybody can say otherwise.
This is
but,
not the first time Zunes have been brought up on the podcast. Other people have had Zunes and do like them.
Yeah, they were fucking tight. They
Why?
they were better. It was
All right.
cool. They were
There you go.
cool.
I'll
for
accept
some
that.
reason.
Yeah.
You could use FLAC, man.
Huh?
You could. There's
Was
like
Flack
you-
even a thing then?
hell yeah, it was.
Dang.
But
They
nowadays
did
I
have
dropped
bigger
it.
screens and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they had bigger. Oh man, we're getting. Oh no, that's something else. Thought we were getting a message in the band group
What the
thread, but I don't think it was. I use Spotify these days just because it was easy and convenient. But there's a lot of stuff some of the time that ain't on there.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like on Bandcamp or YouTube or wherever I can find it. Good thing about Spotify, although also, man, like, archive.org.
I don't.
Man, archive, or maybe archives, possibly. I think it's a .org. That place is tight. If you're into jam bands and shit, they got all their shows up there, and like that's cool. But Spotify, you've got the whole extended Europe 72 collection. You got a bunch of good
Oh, we're just talking about
there's
Grateful
tons
Dead
of
now.
good
so,
dead
yeah.
stuff on there. There's a decent amount of good Fish shows up there. You got some cool Allman Brothers releases. You got some cool things like anthologies of old country singers and shit like that. So that stuff's nice for that. But every now and again there's punk and metal bands, and pretty regularly there's certain punk and metal bands that aren't on Spotify. That you got a Bandcamp. I like Bandcamp though, I'll say that. Bandcamp.
Yeah, it's good.
You've been a good website, unless anybody can is there a reason to not like Bandcamp?
No,
'Cause I've
Bandcamp's
always thought
pretty
it was
tight,
good.
I think.
I like the
Anyone
pay
got
what
some
you want
dirt on them?
feature.
Yeah, dude, pay what you want.
The only problem with Bandcamp is that it'll never be adapted by people that aren't musicians.
No.
It's
As a social media
Yeah.
platform.
It
I mean,
sucks
the
to browse
infrastructure's there
Bandcamp.
for it to
Right.
happen. I'm sure there are some people that aren't in bands that use Bandcamp to discover music. That demographic's out there, but it is
Yeah.
fucking
Well,
niche,
Yeah.
It used to be
It is
Bandcamp threads
small.
on 4chan all the time.
It is a small demographic, and yeah, and that's the only problem with it. If you are only interested in putting your music in front of niche eyeballs, then you could stick with Bandcamp only.
Let's
things.
be fair. There should be significantly more purity testing in who can and cannot listen to music. Don't need no nerds mucking up the scene.
How would we do that? Would that be say you log into Spotify, right? And then it's
Did you log in on a Linux computer?
N-
If yes, you get kicked the
it's just
fuck out.
or it's just a simple multiple choice thing where it's what is the best what's your favorite Allman Brothers record?
I'll
and
say
then you
this.
answer questions, and then they let you listen to things based on that. That sounds like some China shit.
If
I don't
you
even want to get
listen
into
to
that.
a band that I don't like, you don't get to listen to music anymore. It's just done. That's it.
I think okay, so
And I'm only gonna pick stupid bands.
listen.
I love Stained. Like only people that like Stained get to listen to music, you know?
All right. So the next time you're, sitting out on the water
Yeah.
with a couple tall boys and you're
listening to Stained.
you're
It's
thinking
by the water.
by the
It
water
never actually touches
on the water.
I
whatever
stand
you
in
do.
the water some of the time.
I want you to start getting your business plan together to start your own music streaming service.
Ooh man, it's called tape trading. Ever heard of it? Young guys out there.
Is that the name of the full app?
Back when I was getting in, back in the 80s, when I was listening to metal, I had to work for it. I had to. You ever get a Napalm Death tape
Reel
sent
to
from
reel.
across the river or the ocean?
Like, okay, so this is your
river.
fucking service. Like, instead of like little messages in bottles, they're tapes in bottles that you just put out in
Yes.
the water.
Well,
They
here's
have
the thing, dude.
Napalm Death mixtapes.
I love like a good, centrally organized, nationalized mail service. So I just want people to be sending things through the mail again, buying stamps, handwriting emotionally relevant letters to their friends and loved ones, and sending cassettes. Because cassettes are coming back, right? I hear that. My mom said, I heard on NPR the other day, cassettes are coming back.
It ticked up,
So-
but
No, it's a stupid. Straight up,
We don't
cassettes are
want
kind of
cassettes.
stupid.
Yeah.
I like them, but also like that's not.
They sound
That's
bad.
not like records getting popular.
There's such a delicate medium. If you have good equipment, they sound great. Like they
Do
really-
they?
yeah.
I've never heard it. I always just thought they were mid fidelity.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
they're a really, really awesome format for stuff for sure.
Huh.
I just think
Well-
the problem was as music evolved and dynamics kind of increased with recording and modern production techniques, cassettes can't really handle a lot of like how crazy music is on like a dynamic spectrum now
Yeah.
versus like back to Allman Brothers. Like if you get like some like old cassettes of like old albums, they sound fucking great.
Yeah, like listening to 40 Ounce Freedom on a cassette.
I guess that's a classic album now.
It is.
It is. It was classic the moment it came out.
Yeah, watch out if you're gonna say you don't like it. You're not listening
Yeah.
to music
You're
anymore.
gonna be banned from music if you don't listen to Sublime.
I've never had a problem with Sublime. They're one of those bands that like a lot of the fan base bothers me more than the band does.
That's
Fair.
completely fair.
Fair.
You know what I mean? I've had that issue with them. I've had that issue with Mindless Self-Indulgence. I've had that issue with Insane Clown Posse.
No, dude.
We love Juggalos.
Down
This
with the
band is taking a
clown.
hard stance.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said
Juggalos are tight.
I've had that issue. I've gotten over some things.
All right.
But I don't care now. Like, if you listen to Sublime, I'm not going to be. I'm talking about, like, this is shit that I went through when I was, like, 16, 17 and just angsty, just trying to
Yeah.
figure out my place on the planet. Now, I don't give a fuck what you listen to. Like, I don't care. Like, if you like music at all, I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, dude, you can't ever harsh on somebody for
No.
listening to what they want to listen
You can only
to.
edit what they listen
But,
to.
I mean, I've
based
had-
on what they listen to.
Yeah. But I've definitely, I've had those things where it's like, like, oh, fuck Sublime. But it's like, no, it's not that. I just
No,
don't
we've
like these
all
people.
done that
Yeah.
to a thing or two. Yeah, fan bases, they really ruin things. They really ruin things.
I kind of had that problem. I went to the Radiohead show, and the people there just like completely killed the environment. Like I wish I wouldn't have gone.
Really?
Dude,
Or if I wish I was there, I wish I would have been on the floor.
were they
There
like
you
Because
go.
I was like in the seats, and it was
Yeah.
like it seemed like nobody really quite knew why they were there. Like there was a large demographic
Yeah.
of people probably
It's
just
like,
waiting for them to play.
I've heard
the
that I'm
hits.
supposed to
like,
love this
describe
band.
them
Like,
pretty
And it,
like
like-
in depth.
and then it just smelled like fries and nachos.
Hell
And I'm in
yeah.
this big stadium, and I'm like, this isn't like the Radiohead live experience that I would have wanted.
yeah.
It's like I almost feel like, but I at the same time I was like, well, I probably should have expected this because I don't picture them being like a good live band in terms of like, oh, I should see them in a fucking arena, like like on this huge thing. It's like their music is very like intimate. I like to like sit down, listen to it kind of by myself. You get lost in it, right?
Yeah.
Definitely
You can't get lost in it in a room with fucking thousands of people eating nachos. Like it's
it's not fun for a room with thousands of people.
I mean, sure, if I'm watching like Taylor Swift or something, like, yeah, bring out all the fucking nachos. This is a ridiculous experience. Like, I just want to, but like for that, it just threw me off.
I shelled out the cash for floor seats to see 9 Inch Nails the year after Hesitation Marks came out. And that was completely worth it. That was like the best show experience I've ever had. If I was up in the stands instead, though, and seating, I probably would have had a very similar experience.
Yeah.
Like, no thanks.
I gotta keep that in mind. It's been a very long time since I've gone to a like big stadium show.
Right.
Before that,
What do floor seats cost for a show like that?
I don't know.
A lot.
I'm
I
not
mean,
sure.
for 9 Inch Nails, it was like 100 because they still tour like almost every year. I think Radiohead, it was like $100 for seats.
Yeah,
Radiohead.
Our tickets, our tickets were like $70 for Radiohead.
I heard the opening band was pretty tight.
Yeah, it was actually Johnny from Radiohead is like his side project, and it's like him and like
it's not Red Stars Theory, is it?
No,
Okay.
It's like the weird like super ethnic Asian percussion instrument thing. Like it sounds like like the Kill Bill score.
Yeah.
Like it was tight. It was neat, but again, like I would have loved to have seen it in a smaller space so I could really like
sounds
take
like
it in.
Nacho's music.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna keep that in mind. Like I saw Rammstein a few years ago, and that was in a stadium, and that was probably like the best show I ever went to. In my life.
Really?
Oh, it was fucking
Did
tight,
they have
dude.
a good stage show?
Oh, this dude is the best. It was so ridiculous. It was awesome. Like that's a band that like you need to see in a big place like that. Cause they're like lighting shit on fire. They have a stage that comes up from the middle of the floor and like a bridge drops down. Like they transfer between stages and they have all these like gimmicks and gags and fire. And it's like that needs to be in a fucking stadium, right? Like that can't be at like Stage AE. Radiohead could have been at Stage AE.
Yeah.
Especially if you cut out all the people that probably just wanted to hear Creep and like got down to like what their actual like quote fan base is. That show could have been at Stage AE. Sold out, but I would have preferred that over PPG.
For sure.
How many people does PPG hold?
6.
Enough. I don't know. Smashing Pumpkins were just there last night. I heard it was good.
Yeah, I heard
to have gone.
Billy Corgan was spotted in Deutschtown eating Veg Fest food.
Oh, really?
Oh, Veg
Shout
Fest
out Billy
Oh,
Corgan.
I did see that. Yeah.
Wait, was Veg Fest?
Shout out to Billy.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah.
Damn.
That's awesome.
I don't know, man. Even like smaller shows some of the time though. Like I went and saw Kamasi Washington when
You
he
wish
was
you
here.
had nachos.
I did wish I had nachos. But it was like, you know, he's a pretty chill, cool jazzing guy, and jazz is fun music, despite what pretentious nerds would like to say. Jazz is chill ass dancing cool tunes. But it was like all these lamos in their sweaters, chin stroking to the music, being like, "Huh," and I was grooving. I was giving it a dance because it was some dancing tunes, and they're all like, "You're supposed to stand still." It's like, nah, come on. People need to have fun with the music. Have fun with it.
Yeah. And I'm kind of the opposite when it comes to like metal. I've never been like a moshin kind of person.
I'm soft and sensitive.
I like to. Whenever I'm like watching bands, I want to watch the band perform. Like it just blows my mind. It's like this band's playing live, and I'm just gonna run into other people. Maybe it's like the musician in me, where it's like I was like, I don't know.
No,
I'm like,
I want to steal.
I'm coming to watch you play. It's like I want to watch your fucking drummer like kill it.
Yeah.
And they sit there like, how do you play that part?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say necessarily like chin stroke. Like I'm not like looking down on people that mosh, but I've always been like a back of the room, just kind of like observe.
No, I usually am. I also like dancing though. I just don't really like moshing that much. I'm not. I mean, you don't seem like the type of guy that wants to hit people.
No.
You know, you moshers, you're a violent crowd out there. You need to realign your mind. My call there.
Tight. Well, I think we did it. You know, did we? Is there anything we didn't touch on that we should have?
Did we mention the CD?
Yeah, we're a band.
Yeah, we did talk about the CD.
We never did the introductions. That never came up.
Oh, we could introduce ourselves real quick.
yeah, it happened. We figured it out. We got through it. Any last words?
Come to the show, listen to our album.
Yes.
Are you gonna have any tracks?
Come at the show.
Like advanced tracks, like
Come
singles
at the
or
show.
something like released
Should I
before
do
the
that?
album?
Should I? I could do that.
I think it's a good idea.
Release a single.
Yeah, I think it would be a good
Yeah.
idea.
I think we
Okay.
should release it all.
Then yeah.
I'm gonna leak it tonight. Actually,
Do you have a YouTube page for the band?
No.
Is that something you were considering doing?
I wouldn't have anything to put on it.
Well, my suggestion was going to be that if you have artwork for all the songs,
Make like a lyric video or
not
something.
even a lyric video, because I mean, a lot of people just listen to music on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And there's even YouTube Music now. Like they have a dedicated music app where like
I'm awfully disconnected from the youth of today.
this is pretty new. This is
Okay.
pretty new. But if you just like make videos that just kind of have the image and the album
Shaking
artwork
a little bit.
for, and since you
It'll
have like
just
unique
slowly
artwork
zoom
for
in
all
on
the
it the whole
tracks, you
time.
can make like a really cool playlist.
Okay. I
There's
could
a
buy that
good
for
chance that CD Baby is gonna upload your shit to YouTube.
Right.
They did with
Already?
the last one, yeah.
Yeah.
But like
It was,
if you want
private,
something
though.
that's a little bit more like controlled, where maybe some people can subscribe if they end up liking it and you can like interact with people, I don't think it would hurt. I would.
All right. We'll release a single then. It'll be,
I think that would be good too to like help hype up the,
The,
show.
the epilogue track.
Yeah.
it'll be Devil 2. That'll be our single. Decided here today.
Oh, you know,
Yeah,
we
start
haven't
Googling
shout
it.
out. Actually, we forgot something. Galaxy Quest.
Yes.
You like
Mhm.
Galaxy
Very important.
Quest?
Do you like that movie?
Yeah.
I don't see a poster of it anywhere. I'm kind of bummed.
Yeah, of all the things, you don't have a Galaxy Quest poster?
Sorry. There's a lot of posters I don't have.
No, they're all good too.
Like I really wish that I had a Fifth Element poster, and I don't own a Fifth
Oh, hell
Element
yeah.
poster.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you like Rat Race?
You know,
That movie that ends with Smash Mouth?
that's is Mr. Bean in that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Whoopi
you know, I think-
Goldberg
He holds a
and
human heart in his
Seth,
hand.
Dude, I think I saw Rat Race when it came out. That
that's
was a long
great-
time
it
ago.
Holds up. It holds
I haven't
up.
seen
So
it in a
good,
long
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Galaxy Quest holds up too.
It's our favorite movie.
Yeah.
Wait, can we ask you if you think somebody is hot or not?
Sure, let's do it.
Sigourney Weaver.
In
Hot.
Galaxy Quest, especially. Hot?
Sigourney Weaver's always hot.
Yeah, up yours, Kevin.
Sorry, guys.
All right, let's get into that hot sauce.
Oh yeah, fuck, I forgot about that. All right, I will end it on the note that I find Sigourney Weaver always hot because I find personality more attractive than looks, and
Good job.
I like
Good job,
a-
Brian.
I like
I don't know if
a
that was a
strong-minded
compliment
woman.
or not.
I like a strong-minded woman. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver.
She
seems
definitely
chill as
fulfills
hell.
I mean, yeah, Sigourney Weaver's pretty.
I like her movies too.
All right, let's have some hot sauce. And that is all, folks. Thanks so much for sticking around, dealing with the derailments. Thomas.
Thanks.
Thomas the Tank.
Well, one more time, please, check out Smokey Bellows. You already have music that is available online. They will be dropping a new single soon because I told them to. And keep an eye out for all that. Be sure to go to the show if you like what you hear. And more importantly, if you like what you're here, or if you maybe it's not your thing, but you know somebody whose thing it might be, pass it along.
Yeah.
Tell your friends. If either way, spread the word. Don't complain about things. Make things cool. I'm just coming up with stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, that sounded good, right?
Keep it
Top
chill.
of the
I've never
dome,
done this
man.
before.
I'd close with that every time.
Yeah.
I'll be back
Don't
again
complain about anything.
in a few weeks. We're not uploading weekly right now because life's busy. I'm trying to finish an album.
When we got in the car today, Kevin said, I think he's a pretty busy guy.
Mm-hmm. I did say that.
Yeah,
Story.
I'm fairly busy. I have to go to. I have a meeting after this at 4:00
Oh, hell.
to meet with some people about some things
Mm.
Grey Walker related. We'll see how it goes.
Ooh,
All right.
good luck.
Thank you. And but yeah, I'll be back again at some point in time. Again, if you're coming from Spotify, welcome. Please be sure to follow and keep up with stuff. If you've been listening to the show and you would prefer to listen to it on Spotify, you can do that now. Just type it in the search bar. Start the Beat with Sikes. hit that follow button if you want. And aside from that, I'm still Sikes. Start the Beat is still the show. I still can't talk or do outros correctly. And 2018 is still the year.
Don't complain about anything.
Don't complain about anything unless you're trying to do something to fix it. And, Wicked Clowns, whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop.
Thanks for listening.